Of course I go live and every loud vehicle wants to go by. Of course. That's how things roll here in Niseyville. Hello everybody, it is art day. One of our art days. How the heck is everybody doing? We are needle felting along with Bob Ross once again. We are currently working on Season 3 of the Joy of Painting tutorials. And so far in this season, we have followed along with 2 tutorials so far, episode 1 and episode 2. This is currently episode 3 that we are following, called Bubbling Stream. And down there in the little corner is where I've got the tutorial sitting. I have it muted and I have it tiny, so if you would like to see the tutorial in full for whatever you want to do, feel free to follow the link to the Bob Ross YouTube channel where you can watch that in full, or you can watch any number of tutorials, because I believe all of the seasons are on there somewhere on the channel. So we have gotten our sky in so far. We've got our shadows in for our dark areas of our trees at the moment. And when we last left off Monday, we were working on getting in our lighter sections of ground cover here. I do know there's a little bit of yellow peeking through in spots. I'm gonna just let that do its thing, because there's gonna be another color coming back in for like the grass and stuff. So that's fine. That's fine. It'll just kind of, you know, we might not even see all this by the time we get the grass in, but you know, we're working on it. Sorry if you heard the little scratchy noise. The tape on the edge of my desk is being weird. That's not the microphone. It's tape on my desk. The little, one of the little strips of veneer or whatever it is, that linoleum or whatever the fuck it is that covers this desk, fell off the front edge, and it was this weird tacky sticky nonsense, so I had to put something over it because it felt gross whenever it touched me. And I have a texture issue, so we just had to do that. Alright, so this is camel. I'm using the dark color in here was some wool roving that I got from the sample color bag that had like 100 colors in it way back when, because I didn't have quite the right color. I had a dark brown, but we're going to be using we're going to need some Van Dyke brown in here at some point, so I didn't want to go that dark in here. So I went with one of the colors from the wool roving bags, and we used almost a full bag of the color. So I might have to try to find another similar color to it to fill in the further down we have to go. But as you can see in the tutorial picture, kind of, there is also some lighter shades in there. It kind of feels more like an olivey army greenish brown, but you know, artistic license, we're just gonna do it this way. Doesn't have to be an exact copy. You probably don't want it to be an exact copy, but this gives us the idea of what we need to do, and I have to sneeze something terrible, so apologies. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. It's a sneezy day. The ragweed is starting to get its little flowers on it, and we've got honeysuckles all over the place, and I don't know where they all came from because they didn't used to be there before. And terribly windy, and just, We're getting into the end of summer, beginning of fall allergy season for Russell and I, so we're entering deep sneezy snuffly season, so I do apologize. So not just nasty snotty throat, we're talking full on everything. And it was pretty warm in our room when I woke up, and I'm like, why? Why? So I checked the weather, and I'm like, it's only 88. Why is it this warm in here? And then I noticed the feels like temperature was 97, and I'm like, what? You're kidding me, right? That's not fun. So we have some weather that's lingering on the edges of the area. I don't know if we're actually going to get any of that, but we might. But it shouldn't affect us because we can keep going. And it really only looked like it was going to be some rain showers, if anything. Maybe a thunderstorm. If it develops. But when I last checked the radar before we got going here, it looked like it was just going to be just some showers, although that could change. So we are going pretty thin and wispy with this section in here by design. I mean, it might inadvertently end up a little bit thicker, but we'll see. And we're just about to our money goal to be able to do our seasonal project in the way I would like to. So that's all sorts of fun. So we might be taking a break from the Bob Ross project for a little bit and working on that. Sorry, it felt like something was on my leg. I was like, what is tapping me? It's probably just a piece of fuzz. Because there is no shortage of fuzz. Okay, sorry if the camera bumped here. I was in a decent position and then something tapped my ankle, and then I moved from the decent position and now I can't get back to it. Isn't that the way? The way it always is. But I will say I figured out what I was doing wrong on the window capture for the tutorial and why it kept grabbing any window I clicked on. So fix that so we shouldn't have any accidental Discord or Twitter pop-ups if something happens while we're live and I have to check on something. I did get a bit of editing done this week on the speed felt video. Not as much as I would have liked, but the section I'm editing right now is a lot of micro cuts, so I'm like, oh, my hand. So, hand's still a little messed up. It has its moments where it just starts aching intensely now, but at least most of the swelling has gone down. It hasn't gone down completely, but it's working on it. So at least we got that happening. So I mean, it's progress, it's progress. But, so out of the 13 live streams that I have to edit down on that video, I think I'm in the process of working on live stream number 8. So, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I was actually going to start sooner, but, you know, shit happened. So, there was a minor issue in the Wild Challenges Discord I was trying to help somebody with, and then I noticed how much fuzz was in the... Sorry, I have like eye gunk from my sneeze earlier. And then I noticed when I was putting all of the supplies out for today that this was really, really fuzzy. So I took one of my combs and I was just kind of trying to comb some of the multiple colors off of there just to try to clean it up a little bit. Got a fair amount of fuzz off of there, which I have to say was a little bit of a surprise. I keep lining this up to the edge, right? And I don't really need to. Oh wow, look how wonky our edge has gotten here. I'm not sure if I can bring that back in. Well, I mean, worst case scenario, I guess would be like we just even it out when we get there. Like when we trim off the edge, because that's kind of all over the ever-loving place right now. I mean, it happens, so that's why I say you're probably better off putting these in a frame, even if you take the glass out of the frame to display them. In most cases, you probably will have to take the glass out, unless like you get it custom framed and you can get a deep frame on the back. And these are actual fiber, so I don't know how they would tolerate being hung in a bathroom, so I'm not going to suggest that because of all the humidity and the moisture. I don't know if it'll make it shrink or if it'll change the quality of the image. I don't know if it would get moldy. I don't know. So my best advice would be not to put it in a bathroom. So it is Sunday, which, you know, end of the traditional work week. So I hope everybody had a good weekend if you were off this weekend. If you were not off this weekend, I hope it wasn't too painful. So, I mean, that's only like a little bit off in here, but like I said, we can clean that up when we get there. We've got a long ways to go still. Keep lining that up to the edge, because I'm a stooge. I don't have to be on the edge of the pad. So again, we're just doing this really thin, kind of airy. We're gonna let the dark color underneath show through. As we go here. Because we're gonna have grass that's gonna come back in here. So, I mean, that's fine. So even if we do have the yellow felt playing peekaboo, should be all good in the end. I don't know how long this project's going to take us, because this is the first one where we're doing 2 days of art a week, so I don't know if we're going to have to pause in the middle of this to start our seasonal project. I don't necessarily think we will, but we'll see. I might have to order a couple of things. I really don't want to because then I'm gonna have to pay for shipping, but shipping's not too terrible. But I still need to see if Walmart has embroidery floss. I'm not sure if they do. I've never had a need to look for it. I know they have a small... What is happening with my finger? Got like a rough patch of skin on the tip edge of my finger. Just below my nail, and it's catching all of the fiber ever. Because of course it is. Okay. So I still need to price embroidery floss there. I priced it from the place I got the most recent yarn purchase, and it was the cheapest regular price I've seen personally, but it wasn't a DMC. It was I think Paint Box, which is the brand of the yarn that I picked up because it was on sale. I'm beginning to think, because I'm not 100% sure, but I think that company might be the home brand or the main brand of that seller. It might be like their in-house stuff, because I've never seen Paint Box embroidery floss. Never even heard of it. I've usually only heard of the my dyslexic brain is probably gonna flip these letters wrong, but I've really only heard of the DMC, I think it is. DCM doesn't sound right. I think it's DMC floss. Like, that's the brand that I'm familiar with. And that price on their website looked about standard per strand, or per bundle. I need to see... I haven't had the chance to check Joann's yet. To check their website. I'm limited in where I can look. I haven't looked on Amazon yet, because I've not had... how to word this? They're very hit or miss with pricing on the art supplies they sell on Amazon. Some things are within reason and are about average. I'm not saying everything is overpriced, But some of the sellers on there, on the art supplies, are price gouging you. So please make sure that you're price checking. Like, if you see something that you want from Amazon, go to like a craft store website and see if they have the same thing or a comparable item that's pretty much the same thing, maybe under a different brand, and just look at how much it is. Because I've seen little 2-ounce bottles of paint, like this big, going for $5 to $6 on Amazon when they were $1.50 on Joann's. So that kind of pissed me off. But it was a seller through Amazon. It wasn't Amazon itself that was selling that item. So you really want to do your price comparison shopping. I know it's a pain in the ass, but you know, just double check. Like Apple Barrel at our Walmart, because they started carrying that, is 50 cents a bottle. And I'm just like, what? You've got to be kidding me. I'm not paying $5 to $6 for a bottle of paint that I can get for 50 cents. That's basically the same thing. It's not like it was more opaque. It was like the same damn brand label. And I was just like, really? So... But, I mean, other stuff I've gotten off there has been comparable to other places. Like, they do sell some of the Arteza merchandise, which I find interesting because Arteza does sell off their own website. But the funny thing with the Arteza stuff, you want to double check if you're trying to buy anything from Arteza. Check Arteza's website directly, and then check Amazon. Sometimes Amazon's cheaper than the Arteza website, and sometimes the Arteza website is cheaper than Amazon. You gotta watch it. But if you're trying to earn rewards points, then you're gonna have to shop directly with Arteza, I believe, because those points don't transfer over. Because, I mean, you can save up your points to earn like rewards, maybe a couple dollars off your purchase or something. I can't remember what they are now. It's been a while since I've purchased directly from them. But I mean, you never know. The felt pad that I'm using, I did get from Amazon. That was about the average standard price from a couple places I had seen it. And I just picked up the felt squares from there, the multi-pack, because I was like, well, we're ordering everything else, and this price doesn't seem terrible, but the size was a little off. But, you know, we're working with it. We're doing our best with it. Size-wise, I probably would have been better off picking that up at Walmart in person, but live and learn on that one. So what can you do? Alright, I did have to fill in that one gap section because that was a little too willy-nilly in there for me. Like, I know we want it to be a little bit open and airy in here, but that was a little much for your girl here. I feel like my needle's bent. I feel like I did bend this needle. I was able to bend it back gently though. So I just really didn't feel like switching out the needle. But if yours is bent severely, don't bend it back, because then it's probably gonna break while you're using it. But yeah, I'm so excited for our Christmas project. I can't wait to start that, but I think it's gonna take a few weeks, so that's why I want to start it as soon as we're able to. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the Christmas tree in the background. I'm probably not going to be able to do the exact fairy lights that I wanted. I might have to just settle for little mini lights from Dollar Tree, but I'll make sure to get LED regardless, just because it's going to be sitting on fuzzy things, and the LEDs don't really get hot. Not like the normal mini lights can. That I'm probably gonna look at Walmart for. Or what is? There's like a little fly or something in here. I saw it last night, like a little fruit fly or something, and I swear it keeps tapping my leg. Because every time I look, there's nothing there. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to get a styrofoam base to set everything up on. I saw this beautiful icy white blue yarn. I was thinking, ooh, snowbanks. I mean, I have white, but this was like a very how to word this? It was a white, but it had a blue hue to it, blue tint. Thank you, sinuses, for making my voice just terrible today. Sorry, my voice was like stuck. Still is a little bit. I might need to go get a water. Probably would not be a bad idea. Alright, let me gently peel that up. Little random extra fuzzes there. Okay. So I mean, we have a very strange looking image trying to ghost up there on the back. So yeah, actually, let me go grab that water. I will be right back 1 second.
Yeah? Coming. Ugh.
Alright, sorry guys. I'm back. I'm back it. I'm working on it. Okay. There we go. All right. Had to check on my food while I got up. Because, you know, we try to... Sometimes we just gotta try to double duty around here. Especially if it's something that's gonna take a while. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted for dinner tonight, but I had some orange sauce still kicking around. Not a whole lot, I had a little bit, so I'm gonna try it on something tonight that I haven't tried it with before, so we'll see how that goes. And then we'll know if it works or it doesn't, and I can stop wondering about it. I do wish that we could get bread flour around here in a larger bag. Because I have a feeling we're going to be going through a lot of it more often. Because I found a bread recipe I absolutely adore. It doesn't make a whole lot in one go, but that's okay, because we really only get like maybe 2 days at the most before it starts to get a little weird, a little too stale, but could also have been the way I had put it away, but between that and us making pizza, I feel like we're gonna need a lot more bread flour and a lot more yeast in the house. At least yeast doesn't cost too much. Pretty reasonable. Alright. As my hand is slowly nudging this. So it does help that we've got that other darker color kind of worked in here. Just a bit. I mean, you can't, it's not like in your face with it, but you can see a little bit of it mixing in there.
Oh, God damn.
What happened? You okay?
My mom decided to jump up and didn't realize Peanut was there, so she grabbed me with her claws to land.
Oh, my. Are you bleeding?
No, I'm alright.
Alright.
Oh.
Cat antics.
For you up here. Who's here first?
She might be trying to get over to the crab tank now. Sometimes she sits up there. These cats, I swear. They're crazy. All of them. They have all lost their minds. Especially the last couple of days. I don't know if it's a weather pattern currently or what. I know I feel gypped because we had a few days where the temperatures were lovely. It was getting down into the 60s at night. I was actually cold when I went to bed. I was able to sort of sleep, and the past few days have been hell for me sleeping. Like, usually it's hell anyway, but it's been especially bad. Because the one morning, I think I only had about 3 hours of broken sleep. And I got, like, jolted awake, like, 0 to 100 when Momo, got out of his bed and was scratching, and he yelped. And I don't know if he scratched a sensitive spot or if he sort of tweaked his back again, and I was like, fuck. So I had to go find the husband because he wasn't in here, and we weren't sure what we were gonna do, and he seemed a little shaky, and he had a concerned look on his face, like, what just happened, lady? And he almost looked concerned, like he was in trouble, and I'm like, no, you're not in trouble. We still had some of his pain medication left, so they had told us to cut his pain medication into quarters to wean him off of it, because he had been on it for a while. He hadn't had it in months. But we didn't get rid of it yet in case something like this happened, and so we gave him half a pill. And he seems to be okay now. He's still a little tentative, but he's walking around and wanting to go out and stuff, so it can't be terribly incapacitating, but it seems like it's maybe slightly sore. And ever since that day, I've been, like, waking up between, I don't know, between 11:30 and 12, or around 12:30, and I usually sleep till, like, 3-ish. So I'm tired. Especially tired today. I could not concentrate last night doing post-production stuff for the podcast. My brain was just, like, running on 4 hours of sleep, and I was like, "Nrr." And then I started watching Zort's stream Stardew Valley with Kaiju, and I was just, trying to concentrate on what I was doing and watch them and talk to them, and my brain just wouldn't do both consistently. So I was like, yeah, okay, I really need to do the thing. And but by the time I got all of that done, it was pretty late. It was later than it normally is, but focusing just wasn't happening last night for some reason. Probably the lack of sleep. So, and then I had to take care of a couple of other things, and by the time I started to get ready for bed, it was like after 4 this morning. So I was like, damn it, this is not how I had envisioned the night going at all. I was actually hoping to get some more leveling time in on my shaman for the Wild Challenge's Bloodthirsty challenge. But our internet was being really weird. in regards to like loading. Oh, did you ever look at that? Did you ever reset the router?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
What's up?
Did you ever reset the router?
No, I didn't.
Oh. It seems to be behaving for now.
Yeah, I still think it was something further down than us.
But it was just being really weird yesterday where, like, I couldn't watch Twitch for a while on Mozilla. And usually Mozilla's the one it behaves on. Like, the ads weren't playing. It just would get to the ad and freeze when I was trying to watch a live stream. And I'm like, what? So then I had to go back to Chrome. And Chrome doesn't always cooperate with Twitch. A lot of times I get the video encoding error. And I especially seem to get it a lot when it's streamers outside the US, so it's frustrating. But yesterday it behaved itself, so at least that was one less thing I had to fight with. But I did get four bars of leveling in on her yesterday before the anniversary podcast, so that was something. And I really wanted to work on her after I was done the show stuff, but with the internet suddenly being noticeably weird, I was kind of afraid to, so I went and I took care of a couple of other things. I'm hoping to get some time in on her later tonight, but I'm not real hopeful on that, because that was not for you.
Oh, well, I can't tell.
Turn your volume down. You have it blasting in your headphones. But I'm not real hopeful with that, because we need to get dishes caught back up from when the water main broke and we couldn't do them, because they had us under a boil order notice for a day or two, for 2 days I think, while they were waiting for water sample tests to come back. And so we didn't want to wash the dishes with that going on, so we're a little backed up still on that. And I wasn't doing as much with my hand being messed up, so we'll see what happens tonight. I have to do that. I have a next level challenger celebration post I need to work on tonight as well. They're saying we might have some thunderstorms during the week, which will severely cut down my available time to level her. I really wanted to wrap her up this week, so I don't know what exactly is going to happen on that front. We'll have to play that by ear, I suppose. And see what's possible, what's doable. Because it's not like 100% chance of storms, it's like, maybe. I'm like, thanks, that's helpful. And the weather people are like, you know, like the little, like choo-choo with the finger guns, and like, yeah. I'm like, no, I need to know if it's gonna storm. They're like, we don't know. I'm just like, go away. Like, just go away. You're not helping the situation. The Warriors done. Well, not done, but they're ready for Thursday. I would like to get some extra, not really extra, but I would like to get some gathering in on the working man, so that they're at least halfway through the level for when we stream on Thursday. I finally sold, if not all, then most of that life root that I've been trying to get rid of on her. So excited. It's like, finally! Let's stop having this taking up all of the bag space. Alright. At least I think we've gotten the funky alerts not alerting thing sorted. Because that was annoying. I think my login had just timed out for Stream Elements maybe, or maybe Stream Elements was temporarily down. I don't know. It was weird, but it seems to be working now. So that's something, I suppose. I probably came down too far again, but we'll see. I might have to adjust the start of the stream back up a little bit. That's fine. Or we'll just make adjustments as we bring it down here. And just roll with it. We'll see. Like, I watched the tutorial and then like a few days later I'm like, I don't remember where the placement was on this necessarily. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of yellow in there from our base piece. Still have quite a bit of yellow poking through, but like I said, I'm going to try not to fuss about that. So let me just see something real quick. No, we might be okay. Looking at the end image here, we might be alright. Got that. And we might be okay. Might be okay. Alright. Now. Alright. So. Oh, that felt good. Sometimes you just need to, ooh, that's a nasty storm. I wonder if we're gonna get that. Well, that's got a warning on it too. That depends. The stuff I've been seeing in Oklahoma hasn't quite been crossing the border. Or what showers have been making it in have been dissipating, so it's one of those days. Why are you a severe thunderstorm? 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. and 3/4 inch hail is what I think that means. 0.75. That might miss us. We'll see. Alright. Anyhow. Ow. Okay, so let's get back into this here. We're getting there. We're getting this light color sorted here. Oh, it's killing me to not have this in here solidly. But I know it would be most likely a waste of time and supplies to do it super solid, because I know the next layer that's happening. I probably didn't even really need to do this, but I feel like there's spots where it's gonna peek through, and I don't quite have those spots worked out in my brain yet, so it's just gonna be a bit easier in the long run to do it this way. Easier doesn't always mean it's faster, but in the end I think it will be faster because it'll be less of a headache trying to get stuff filled in properly. I will say, I feel like it's gonna rain. Everything kind of aches right now, so like I really want to put my hand thingy on, but it's got Velcro on it, so I don't know how much of a wise idea that is, because fluff and get on there. Oh, I'm putting it on backwards, that's why. Like my thumb, can't seem to find the thumb hole. I'm putting it on backwards. That would explain a lot of things today. Alright, let's get this sorted in here. Not too tight. Right. I know most of the animals are down for the count this afternoon. It seemed a bit sunnier when I first woke up, but now it seems like it's hedging more towards overcast, and I think the humidity is rising because our feels like temperature increased, but the base temperature I don't think did. We need to get a little bit more put in here. In this spot. You alright?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't necessarily need a whole lot in this section, but we do need a little bit. Yeah, so sorry this one's got all kinds of like fuzz balls and stuff on it. It's very old. It's got some wear and tear on it. But don't exactly have the money just to toss something because it's looking a little weathered. Still works, still does what it needs to. We don't have that kind of disposable income where I can be like, oh no, there's a one tiny fuzzball on here, we need to get rid of it. No, no, no. We'll probably run this one into the ground. These aren't cheap. These are like, what? Between $7 and $10, so can't afford to just toss one. I know when I was working at Walmart, I had like 3 that I would rotate between because they get so funky. So this particular piece of base felt, you can really see how when the needle goes through, it's grabbing even the fibers in the felt and pulling everything taut. That's why this is scrunching up into here and this is scrunching this way. That's why a lot of the times our edge over here is not fully even and straight. Because it just happens. So I mean that's why I suggest that you frame these things if possible, or you know, put a mat over them just to kind of help clean up the edges. We clean them up as best as we can on here. And I am considering doing an experimental small piece at some point with cleaning up the edge in embroidery floss. I'm trying to just kind of doing like an overlapping stitchy poo if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the needle through it. That will be an experiment, but I want it to be an experiment on something that I don't care if it gets ruined. It'll have to be a test piece. It might be the needle felted pin prototype that I'm gonna do. I've got the color for the flamingo now, but when we go to get the embroidery floss for the gingerbread house, just to help sew it all together, might be able to get a needle through that. I'm gonna pick up some metallic floss and see if I can find a metallic floss that I can use as the metal legs on the lawn flamingo. We'll see if I can find it. I mean, I think they have the metallic floss. I saw a listing for it, I just didn't look for the colors, so I would think that they would have metallic silver. If I can't find a silver that I think is gonna work, well then, you know, we'll go with a dark gray, but I'd prefer to get a silver if possible. But I also have to work out the size on that. I might need the husband to help me resize a template, or to make a template. think I need to find my white chalky paint pen. So that I can get the shape drawn on. It's either that or I try to make a stencil with the shrink film. And that would be an adventure. So I don't know if I'm quite up to that. I don't think I'd actually be able to shrink it, and I don't have any stencil blanks. I mean, I guess I could pick a stencil blank up. I suppose that really wouldn't be that expensive. That might require a trip to Joann's, though. Because I'm hesitant to make it out of the shrink film, because if I shrink it down, right, and have the opening in the middle, if that would even work without flipping over on itself, if I hit the edge of it with this guy, there will be no forgiving. That needle will snap. So, not sure that would be the wisest direction to go in. I am in frame, right? Kinda. Okay. Kinda in frame. Okay. What time is it? Sorry, the water's been boiling out of my pot on the stove at a pretty good rate, so probably need to turn the water down, or the temperature down. And I should probably go add some more water. I'm not quite sure where the husband vanished to. He was right here, and then I thought a dog was bugging him, but he didn't take the dog outside. Now I'm going to start to bring our angle back down into here from this side. Just to try to help even that up a bit. You can see we actually did bring this back in line a bit better. So I mean, sometimes we're able to, and sometimes we're not. And since I don't know where he vanished to, I will be right back again. Sorry, but I do have to check the thing on the stove to make sure it's not burning. Be right back. look at that. The sun came back out again. So now's a good time for everybody to take a stretch. We're taking a stretch break while I had to get up.
Oh, okay.
Might as well. Might as well, friends. Maybe don't get too locked up here. Okay. So, topped off the pot on the stove. So that's good. That's fine, and now I know what time it was last checked and the current water level and all that, so sometimes I lose track of time. And since this isn't the normal pot that I cook this in, this pot tends to steam out most of the liquid in there pretty quickly, so but for the amount that I was making, I really didn't need the huge Dutch oven. That would have been a little bit overkill for today. So we'll see. Getting our colors all intermingled here. Oh wait, I forgot. Haha. Dang it, I'd seen that up there. I'm like, I need to drop that. Did I remember? No, that's okay. That happens, and at least I remembered before, or thought to check before we went too far. Unlike having gone an hour and it's still being up there. Because, you know, I get distracted sometimes and forget to do the things. So if you've noticed I have not done the thing, or fixed the thing, by all means, please tell me. Because odds are I just forgot. And I'd rather know that I forgot at the time of forgetting, instead of, you know, like an hour later. It's more easily fixed, closer to things being done. Okay. So, we'll get. This is why I don't like wearing the hand thingy when we're doing this. Because all of the fuzz just latches onto it. That wasn't even a spot that had the Velcro on it. It's just like, nope, I own all of the fuzz now. Oh gosh, I had this on when I was trying to fluff like the last batch of yarn after hurting my arm and my hand, my wrist area. And oh, it was something. It just fluff everywhere. No idea. It was such a mess. I think the air got extra dry or something the past few days or the past week, because I don't know, it just, like, the fluff just went everywhere. It was sticking to everything. It was so staticky. Even combing the cats was a bit staticky. I'm just like, what is happening? I probably need to be running our humidifier. Since it seems to be quite so dry all of a sudden. But, you know, we got through it. I want to get a couple of, like, burnt siennas, or just a sienna type color, like a rusty reddish browns. I don't really have any of those. But I would like to, so maybe we can try to do some deserty stuff, maybe. So this color going over the dark color. It's adding to the color combination, obviously, but it's also trying to help make sure that all of that darker brown did actually get attached in here. So I mean, that's good that we've got it doing double duty. Okay. It's one of those body ache kind of days. Everything just aches today, so I don't know how long we'll be going. We're not stopping yet. We've only been going like an hour, but probably won't be a full 3-hour day though. And that's okay, because we have tomorrow, too. Alright, so this is gonna get tilted just a little bit so that I can get in here a little bit more comfortably. One more second. I need to grab something here. Oh. I need my foot to not get caught in the nightie blanket too. feel like I swallowed a piece of fuzz again. Damn it. Had that happen for like 3 days. When I was fluffing the latest yarn. And it was so damn annoying. I don't think I actually did, but it sure as hell felt like I did. Okay. Sorry about that. I can definitely feel the weather coming though, or the weather pressure system or something, because I'm just uncomfortable. Like, I'm annoyingly anxiety-inducing uncomfortable at the moment, so it's alright. I took some ibuprofen. We're gonna work through it. At least for a little bit. That's why I had to take my hand thing off. Like, there's a certain range where I can tolerate the hand thing touching me. And then I hit a certain point where I'm like, no, don't touch me. We are past that point on the hand thing. I think it doesn't help that it's so hot in here too. Or at the very least, I'm hot. I mean, the feels like was 98 when I checked earlier. It had gone up a degree when I was checking the weather to see if we were actually going to get the one rain shower I had seen before we started, and then I was disappointed to see that it had dissipated. We're still kind of flirting on the edge of drought. We're not really out of drought. I think we came out of severe drought, or backed away from severe drought, but we could definitely still use some more rain. And I was kind of hoping that we'd get that, but this just seems like it's just going to be one of those days where there's just like this dry, humid, I don't know how it can be dry and humid at the same time, but it seems to be this weird pressure bubble over us that's just sucking all of the rain showers out of the air. It's like, no, you shall not. That scared the shit out of me, by the way. I was not expecting the phone to ring. I think the phone only rang once yesterday. And it was many, many hours ago. So then to suddenly hear that ring, seemingly out of nowhere. Hey, Ash. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Oh, thank you for the host. Appreciate that. We are just working on getting our lighter background color worked in here in this middle section. Oh, I'm okay. A little extra achy today for some reason, but probably the weather. But we're doing okay. we're getting through the day. I'm trying to make sure that we're still in frame. I feel like I keep sliding out of frame today. Probably because we're working on this side. But we'll see. So we're gonna have some gaps in here. Where the yellow is gonna peek on through, and that's fine because then we have the grass color coming back in on top of this, so grass color is gonna end up taking care of any of the remaining gaps poking through. So sorry, I lost my word. I was like, I know this word. What word do I want? And I'm like flipping through the Rolodex in my brain, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Yeah, that. I hate it when I do that because it's always when I'm in the middle of talking, and I'm like, shit. What's the word? What's the word? And then my brain wants to throw in a place filler word, and I'm like, no, don't use that. And then we have the weird awkward panic of, fuck, I need to say something. Alright. You know how it goes. I'm sure everybody's been there at least once or twice. At least. So for my WoW challenges people, if there's any here, there is a leveling contest going on, started last night, for the Iron Man challenge, hunter class only, and there is specific races in the game that are allowed to do this one. All the details are on the wowchallenges.com website. The first place winner at the end on September 10th. They need to be green flagged. Your winning conditions are max level or highest level at the end of the time, at the end of the 2 weeks. And you have to be green flagged, so you can't have broken any rules. Yellow flags don't count either. It has to be a clean green flag run. If there's a tie where two people are the same level for first place, they'll go back in and look at milestone achievement levels that are tracked in the player achievements, so they can see the timestamps on those. And then, like, the first person to hit X will end up being the winners, and the grand prize winner, first place, up for grabs is 2 months of game sub, and then second place through 10th place will be entered into a random drawing for an in-game pet from the WoW in-game Blizzard store. And there will be 2 drawings from the 2nd through 10th place people. 2 different drawings, so 2 different winners, 1 pet each. So you have 2 chances to win a in-game pet if you finish in 2nd to 10th. I'm not going to be streaming that this time. I don't know if I'm going to have time to play. And with my arm being messed up a little bit, I just don't know if I'm going to physically be up to playing that very much. If I do end up sticking my toes in, I'm probably going to be barely on the board, so we'll see. We'll see. And last time I checked, we were up to 6 or 8 entries. I don't know what we're at right now. Let's see, what are we at right now? Somebody thought they checked the entry boxes and they may not have. What are we at? Oh, we've got 1 death so far in the contest. Looks like first place is currently level 20. We have 8 total entries so far, with 7 contestants alive. I have to remember to do some promo tweets for that when I get done here. I didn't schedule anything because that one I kinda can't, because I don't know what contest stats look like, so I'm gonna have to try to at least do promos for that. Maybe once a day, maybe once every couple of days. But I don't think I'm going to be streaming that. I don't know when I would be streaming it, to be perfectly honest. Because I really don't want to put our art streams on the back burner right now, because I want to get through this and hopefully get it done for when we start our seasonal decor project. Because our Christmas guy is gonna take a few weeks, so, or at least I'm anticipating it taking a few weeks. If it doesn't, cool, and then we'll just have it done early. But nothing ever goes quickly when I'm working on it, so I'm trying to have a little bit of forethought and plan accordingly. But it also depends on when I get the funding for it. I'm not sure if I'll be getting that next month or in October. It depends on Twitch and what date they're going by. 'Cause I give up figuring it out. I just, like, whatever, Twitch. Keep changing the days and shit, so. Like, I don't understand my payout screen. So, I just don't. It seems like it's never the right amount on the updated total anyway, and I'm like, no, that should be more than that. But, I don't know. I give up. My calculations say we're due for a payout next month, or we just barely missed it by like 80 cents. So that's what my calculations are at. If I don't know if mine are the same as Twitch's. Like, there's a 12-day conflict in my brain that I don't know if they're going by the 1st of the month and they're just not updating your earnings until the 12th, or if they're actually going by the 12th. I'm not sure. If we're going by the 12th, then we're like $3 short. If we're, I don't know, maybe that is the 80 cent short. And if we're going by my calculations, we're like $2 over. So I don't know. I don't get enough payouts to really have this nailed down. So it's a surprise when it happens. It's like, oh, look. Alright. So we're getting this worked in pretty good in here. But it was a lovely anniversary podcast last night. Big shows require more work, so I'm glad there was, I'm glad it went as well as it did. And so far, the contest stuff has only had a couple minor hiccups, which isn't bad because it's the first contest that Zaya has coded, so, or has tried to figure out setting up the coding for. So that's something. He had a template to work with from the previous coder that did it, but then a bug was found last night as he was getting ready for bed, and he's like, oh shit. So he managed to put a temporary patch on it, but he needs to figure out a permanent fix before they do another one. But they don't do the contests that often, so I think at the most it was 4 a year at one point when the community was a lot bigger. But this is the first contest since all of the website moves and all of that, because there were some code team issues where the guy that previously ran everything did 95% of the coding, or 100% of the coding, but his health was starting to take a downturn. So he brought in somebody to help him who had redesigned the website that was supposed to be so much better, but that guy was kind of helping him out sort of part-time, and then that guy had developed his own health issues and had to like immediately pull back, so we were left kind of twisting in the breeze for a little bit, where we didn't have a dedicated, even part-time code team. So we kind of weren't able to do any promotional stuff over there, or any contests or anything, so we were just trying to keep the website functioning and hoping that nothing broke while we were trying to search for qualified help that wouldn't mind working on a volunteer basis, which is a lot to ask for somebody to be doing code, but there really wasn't any money to pay anybody with. Because the community is not as big as it used to be. But we've gotten a couple people now that have their strengths in different corners that seem to be able to communicate with one another. So we're getting it figured out. We're just behind, that's all. That was one huge headache, trying to get all of the things sorted. Alright, so that might be a little bit too steep of an angle there, but you know what, we're going to come back in with the grass, so we can kind of micro adjust that. Like I said, I don't even know how much of the shade we're gonna see when we get down to it. situated. Sorry about the extra loud background noise at the moment. I had to put a fan on, and I can't. Somebody just walked out of our backyard. I think it was one of the neighbor kids. They must have lost something over the fence. I couldn't put it where I wanted to put it, so the fan is sitting on the windowsill of the closed window, and the glass is making the sound a little bit louder than I necessarily want it to be, but I am hot. So that wasn't gonna do. Can't concentrate and do what I need to do when it's quite that warm in here. So if you see the fuzz moving slightly, this one isn't, the other one is. It's from the fan. Hopefully it's not too loud. Like, I'm just noticing it feels loud, but not a whole lot I can do about that. I could try to move it, but the little, the height adjuster on my chair, for some reason suddenly just keeps getting caught on that particular cord. It did it like 3 times yesterday, where I turned in the chair and the little lever kept snagging on the cord, the electrical cord that was plugged into the wall, and kept ripping it out of the wall plug. And then, to make matters worse, I got scared and screamed because my chair fell the same time that it happened. Apparently it got caught in such a way on the cord that the cord lowered the height of my chair completely unexpectedly. I thought my chair broke for a second because I was not expecting that, and I was like, no, what just happened? Oh. I tell you, I'm a mess over here, can I say? I'm just scraping this out a little bit. I'm not pushing in, I'm just lightly kind of placing, raking, I guess, positioning. Take your pick. Just try to figure out where we're sitting here. Now that's a pretty big gap. I am probably going to fill that one slightly, because that's a little much. But yeah, we are following along with episode 3, babbling stream of season 3 of the joy of painting. We're gonna try to do most of season 3. We'll be skipping at least 1, if not 2. At least 1. Because we might have... What is going on? There are all kinds of yelling all of a sudden. I might have the right colors for the one now. I just don't know if I can do it justice, because I feel like it's just gonna be a sheet of one color. I gotta think about it. If I do that particular one, I might do that one off stream and just record it. It's gonna be a lot of recorded hours though, sitting on my system. I don't know, maybe we'll try to live stream it. I gotta think about it. It's the cowboy one that's part of this season. Like one of the few times that he... Is it the only time? If it's not the only time, it's one of the very, very rare times that he put the silhouette of a person in one of his paintings. I just can't. I don't know. Like before I wasn't going to do it because I just didn't have the colors. But I do have more colors now. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off because it's a lot of the same color with very subtle shifts in it. It would definitely be a challenge for me. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it might be a bit difficult, so we might have to artistic license it and improvise. It'll probably just look like one solid sheet of color. I don't know. I gotta think about it. Before I was like, no, we're not doing it because I don't have the colors. But I've picked up a few more yellows. And I did pick up a couple of shades of orange. So maybe I gotta think about it. It's not till much later in this series, I don't think. Or I think it's like, isn't it like episode 10? Alright, we're on episode 3. Yeah, it is episode 10, the campfire one. Yeah, we got some time to think about it. Since we're only on the third one. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. Definitely, it's gonna depend on how ambitious I'm feeling, I guess, or how confident I'm feeling. I might have to let's see how to word this. I might do a colored pencil version of it to try to work out the color combos in my head first. And if that doesn't look like a hot disaster, then maybe. Like, I was actually kind of nervous coming into this one. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do for the colors? Like, I don't know. And I had started to do a basically like a colored pencil test run, a prelim before the main event, because I was gonna try to work out the colors, and I got about to where I was gonna need to start putting the foliage on the tree, and then I just kind of ran out of time to work on it. And I was like, well, maybe we can sort this in the brain. Could you check that pot for me? Thank you. I'm so paranoid it's gonna like run out of water. It's been about an hour anyway, so. Alright, so we have quite the ghostly, scary image coming through there. Alright, we need more fluff. More fluff. So, this is the yarn, this shade. This is a yarn shade. This is Big Twist brand acrylic in the shade of Camel. Just sort of like a light creamy tan. I suppose. Kind of like very, very light coffee. Sorry, all of the loud vehicles just started going by out of nowhere, and I just didn't feel like fighting it. The vehicles have been extra loud lately, and I'm just like, stop. Why? I really almost lost my shit the other night. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and I was sitting here, and somebody, okay, cool, thanks, and somebody started revving their engine down at the car wash. I'm like, oh no, we're not playing this game at 2:30 in the morning. What the hell? But I guess they had just pulled out, because then I didn't see them. I didn't even see them pull out. I was like looking out the window. I'm like, really? It's 2:30 in the morning. I mean, I was awake, but I know other people aren't, so I was mad for them. It's like, most people around here have like their front porch lights shut off by 8 p.m. and the houses are dark by like 9 at the latest, and I'm just like, really? You're just gonna be that much of an asshole. Okay. Okay. That's nice. Just because you're up doesn't mean the entire community is. I mean, we still have some farms around here. So some people do go to bed early. I'm sure your crappy sounding vehicle that was probably made to sound that way on purpose. Not cool. That's not what they want to wake up to. Okay, so we're almost done with this color, and then he starts putting in tree trunks. Now, he used Van Dyke brown and white on the tree trunks, and it kind of made this camel color, sort of. I don't know what I want to do about that. We might just do the camel in like cream strands for a little bit of highlight. But this one's been a tough call shade-wise for me. Surprisingly. Because when I was first looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty straightforward, but he's got so much color mixing. That tightened up pretty good. He's got so much color mixing going on in this one. On the canvas itself. It's actually been a bit of a trial for me to make a decision. Okay. I'm not doing too shabby. I mean, we only had a little bit of this worked in. And this is a bit of a time-consuming section that we're in, where it's solid color, or semi-solid color. We definitely have a good bit of real estate that we're covering here, to say the least. So what's everybody working on? What did you do this weekend? Any plans for the coming week? Are you in school? Has school started? I think school started back here last week. I think our friend's, his college classes started last week. And he got acquainted with one of his new professors that he's like, oh boy. So, like, he didn't even, like, half the class didn't even get the one textbook till, like, maybe 3 or 4 days before the class, I think. And he's like, yeah, so if you had read the syllabus, you would have seen that you should already have chapters 1 and 2 completely read. He's like, what? I think you're kidding, right? So, like, everybody had to do a lot of reading really quick, and it was really dry reading. What class was that? Was that his introduction to... was it philosophy or psychology? I don't know. It was some kind of ology class, and I can't remember what it was. But, like, I have a feeling he's gonna have a rough time keeping up in that class. Because of the pace that the teacher's gonna set. Like, I think it's more like a first year class. And I'm not sure how he ended up in it. I think he needs it for his 1 degree. But he's like, a lot of the kids in that class just have this, like, deer in headlights look on them. When the professor was saying, you know, X, Y, and Z, and you should have seen that this had to be done already, and he's like, a lot of these kids don't look like they're gonna make it. He's like, they look like they're fresh out of high school and are used to someone sticking sticking it to their asses and making sure that they were doing their homework and stuff, and now they're kind of thrown into the deep end of the pool and they're like, well, have fun. And like nobody reminding them, did you do your homework? You know, that kind of stuff. He's like, there's gonna be a lot of kids in this class that are just, they're not prepared for college. He's in his mid-20s, I think. He's younger than us. By a good amount. Oh God, is Tyler in his 20s? Oh, I just had a scary thought. Oh. We could be his parents. Yeah? Maybe? Not quite. Not quite. He's our surrogate son. No. Okay, so maybe if it was a mid-teen pregnancy. There's like a couple of years there, so it's close. Like, he's that much younger than us. I'm sure in one parallel universe it could be possible. But we had met him working at Walmart. And then for a brief period of time, he roomed with us until an apartment ended up opening that he could get into, because he had missed the deadline to put in an application or something, because if he didn't get the application in by a certain time, all the college kids coming back to the area were gonna snap up all the open ones, and he missed it. And so he roomed with us for a little bit, and then something finally opened up, because I think he was on a waiting list, maybe? Oh, something was going on with that, and his cat was very happy about that, because one of our cats and his cat did not get along. We had to break up several cat fights. And that room didn't have, like, that was our old room, and it didn't necessarily have, like, a door you could shut securely to keep our cats out of there. So we could have probably tried to see about getting a door in, but the doorway was such an odd size, and we didn't have the money. And he was just looking for, like, an emergency place to crash temporarily, so. You alright? What's wrong? Do I need to get...
Figured out my phone wasn't charging.
Oh?
Yeah, I had it plugged into the wall directly.
Uh-huh.
So what I thought was the plug was not. And someone knocked the plug out, so.
Oh, okay, well that explains the mystery of the flickering light on the charging base.
Yep, there we go.
That's been like a week-long adventure of trying to understand why the phone. So I guess every time it flickered, like it was like moving in the socket, I guess. If the plug wasn't securely in there. So couldn't figure out why it was sitting in the charging base and the little lights on the screen kept flickering. And we're like, what? Like, we kept thinking somebody was trying to call, but the call wasn't going through. So, yay, mystery. Sort of solved. But we've known Tyler a good amount of time. And he's also part of the husband's D&D group. Alright, this is getting a little bunchy in here, so we're gonna pull it. And just kind of re-smooth that section out. It's getting nice and fuzzy. I don't know why I have this section empty. Oh, okay. We do have a gap there. That's fine. I mean, this side does kind of let you see where you've got, you know, breaks in color. Be like, did I not anchor anything there? No, I didn't. Apparently. Alright. So, get this tagged in. Probably have like one or two more passes on this color. And then we can start to advance our tutorial to see where he's going to put these tree trunks. I'm a little hesitant to do it in this color because if it comes down here, I need to make sure that I know that that's where the tree trunk is. Which could be a slight challenge. But we'll see. Just means we might have to be a little extra careful with the grass that comes in. Potentially. Probably have to go grab another shade here in a second. Probably that cream. I mean, we could do the back trees in taupe maybe. I do have that smoky faded old wood kind of color, but that might be too dark because those trees in the front, when we looked at the end piece, were pretty dark. I think those were straight Van Dyke brown for the most part. But I don't know. Let's see. I know this is sitting a little crooked. Oh, and we're partially out of the shot. Okay. That's not good if we're out of the shot. It's going to make doing the editing on any kind of full project video later a little bit difficult. As we try to do a full start to finish session, at least edited together. Okay. So we'll get this tapped in here. Don't be afraid to re-go over some of that brown, because as you can see, we're scrunching in and pulling in the base yellow, so we don't know if that the dark brown's gonna loosen up a little bit. So it's okay to go back over that. As you're coming through, just make sure everybody is good and attached. Don't want anybody coming loose in this section. That could complicate things later. And at the moment I am coming in at a slight angle. Not necessarily on purpose, I just realized that I was doing that. Okay. Sorry, I just need to stretch out my shoulder a bit. Alright, I am going to turn this guy. I know we're not quite sealed. Sealed is not the word I want. We're not quite all woven together in this spot, but did want to go ahead and flip that upside down for a minute. Nothing wrong with flipping your stuff upside down. Sometimes it helps get proportions fixed. I mean, sometimes some people draw easier upside down. Like, I can draw the right side of something fabulous, but then when it comes to drawing the left side of it, forget it. I don't know if it's just a trick of my brain or not, so if you're having trouble, try flipping it upside down to draw the other side of whatever you're trying to do. I know it might take a little bit to get used to, because then you're kind of drawing it upside down. But maybe it'll help. You never know. I'm having one of these days where I feel like I'm looking through a smudge on my glasses. And every time I look to see if my glasses are dirty, they're not really. But I don't see the smudge when I take them off. So it's something with this lens, I guess. I just don't know what its deal seems to be. Alright. Let's re-smooth you out, my friend. I will say this one has been kind of extra bunchy on the base. The base felt this weave's felt a little looser than I think some of the other ones did. So I do have a bit of gappage happening over here, but you know, it's kind of like that all over. So let's hold off a second before we do anything too drastic at this point. And we're going to look at our tutorial. And start to advance that a little bit and see where he's putting in these trees. So he grabbed the fan brush, right? Is that a fan brush or is that an oval? No, it's the fan brush. So he grabbed Van Dyke Brown and Burnt Umber. And I don't think it's Burnt Umber in the kits any longer or on his website. I think it's Sienna now. Which always kind of confused me because I'm like, this isn't the color that you had available. Like, he showed it and pointed to it, but they didn't zoom in on it, so that doesn't help. There we go. So, it's kind of like this, you know, maybe we will do the taupe. That is a little bit darker than the straight camel, so maybe we'll do taupe and light gray. On those tree trunks. And he's just kind of, I guess we'll put one here. And maybe we'll put a wiggle here. Speaking of a wiggle, hi Zuzu. Alright, then he's gonna start putting I'm gonna see, can we get a zoom out on this, Bob, before you start? No, you're just gonna be like, I wanted to that's probably as zoomed out as we're gonna get. Alright, let me go back to the first tree. Are you gonna... Like, I wanna see... Alright, the damn closed captioning is sitting over what I want to see. Okay, well, I can kind of... So, if it starts up here, right? Looks like it's coming down to maybe here. Maybe here, at the most. At the most. Alright, let me grab our colors here.
Chuck down the levels for it.
So let's grab the top. And we'll grab the software, I think. Let me move this fan while I have the opportunity. opportunity, Little was laying where I normally put the fan on the bed. So I kinda couldn't put it there. Alright, let's close up the bag on the camel. We don't want that escaping everywhere, especially with the fan blowing in our direction now. Okay. So we've got soft gray. And we'll go with the taupe as our dark on our tree. I'd be surprised if we need all of this. Oh, well, we might use that one chunk. Alright, let's see what we can do here, because we don't want this super thick boy, because, you know, it's a far away tree, right? So we don't need this super, super thick. So, let's see, even that might be a little too thick. Let's put the alright, but as we found in the past, when we've done wool snakes of this size, we've managed to where's this gonna go, Bob? 'Cause we've got one over here. There, you're going there. We just have to do it. So when we've done the snakes at like this size, they've actually kind of melted in. So in hindsight, we may actually need to beef this up a little bit. Because that boy is pretty... This is taupe? This feels like dark gray. Oh, that's taupe. Alright. Making sure I got the right color. I might actually use a bit more of this than I thought. Kind of hard to see that, but let's see if we can thicken our boy up here a little. I don't want him too thick, though. So, I mean, he is a slightly distant tree. Not terribly distant, but, you know. He ain't front and center. So he is a little bit thinner trunk-wise at the top. Kind of thought the taupe was a little bit more brown, but I guess not. Like, against this reddish brown, it looks very gray. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna handle this over here. I might be able to fill that in with some grass colors. Alright. So let's pop that. Looks like a hole. Is that a hole? No. For some reason it looked like one though. Okay, so we've got one trunk kind of in. We can't really see it because of our zoom at the moment, but he's there. So we're gonna grab a little bit of our soft gray. This is the acrylic yarn. Maybe you can see it. I mean, you can see the gray, that's for sure. My preview's a little smaller, so this is our tree trunk highlight. Kind of just laying that in there. I'm kind of on the edge of the gray, like I'm kind of overlapping it just a teeny bit, but we're also like right up against it so we don't totally drown it out with the taupe. Sorry. Alright, let me get that all snippy snipped. Okay, so we got one boy in there. And I think he's down far enough. It's probably supposed to come down a little bit more, but it is what it is. Alright. So we've got 3 in this grove here. The very back one, there's not a whole heck of highlight on of this group. So you're kinda here. Let me see. I can't see the base of you at the moment. Are you all relatively alright, so you're not that much shorter than your friend here. So I'm trying to do the back ones, the further tucked behind the background ones first, because we've got that other one there that seems to kind of sit in front of these two. Alright, okay, so if we get you in here, and again, it doesn't have to be exact. And it probably shouldn't be quite exact. Trying to make sure I know where my trunk is here. See, this boy ended up being a little bit thicker. Ever so slightly. Not necessarily intended that way, but that's alright. Tree's gonna tree. And just like cat is gonna cat. That one didn't want to come up. Alright. That's the only reason that I pull up, well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I pull up off of the mat so much is because on this mat, if I don't check in on it often, it feels like it becomes permanently attached. And the one piece that I didn't pull up that often on, when I was first trying to figure this out, distorted and skewed the shape when I had pulled it up. Now that might be different on if you do the foam mat. I don't think it'll grip to the foam mat as hard. I could be wrong, I've not used the foam mat, but it might be a little bit easier to get that up. Now this, there's really not much of a highlight on this back one, but I'm gonna put just a teeny one on. I know I'm doing the wrong one, but that one looked like I was getting a little unruly there, so I was looking a little rambunctious. Like space in between the two, just from all of the fibers being pulled from this tree going in. Oh, I know this is soft gray, and it is gray when you lay it on top of itself in the bag of fluff, but when I've got it stretched out like this on top of this taupe color, it looks almost white. So I'm gonna give this one a little extra attention on the highlight, just so I can try to melt most of it into the background here. Okay. Alright, so we've got 2 tree trunks in. Okay. I'm like, man, that's really solid in that section already, but we did do quite a substantial pass on the sky, so to make sure that we were good and filled in. Alright, we're not going to need all of that. Alright, the other one kind of comes down. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see the tree trunks now that we've got the highlight on there. Caressing its length, I guess you could say. Alright, so this one's kinda about here, I suppose. It's gonna be tight quarters for getting any grassy colors in here. Is what I'm thinking. Alright, so we're probably gonna have to come back and add a bit more width to this one. Just because I kind of messed up how I wanted that bottom bit to go. That and I got a little skinny there in the middle. A little more skinny than I was looking for. Again, I keep going to that upper corner when I don't have to. That's a hard habit to break. Alright, so we'll just kind of make sure this guy's got just a little bit more to him. And then we'll go ahead and get his highlight put in. I don't need it to be super wide. But it does need to have a little bit of something happening. Alright, let's go back and I think you might be a little small, my friend. Alright. So we've got the 2 in there. And there's a decent sized shadow on this guy, and it does look like it kind of goes, or highlight to the ground, so I'm just gonna gently twist and pull just to lengthen that out a little bit. It looks like that's going to be about the right height there. Get that one all tapped in. Okay. Got that snipped up. Okay, so we've got 3 trunky boys. What qualifies a group of trees as like a stand? Stand of trees? Grove of trees? Is that a thing? I feel like that's a thing. I could be talking out my ass, but I feel like that's a thing. Alright, so we got 3 there. Okay, now, Sir Bob, where's our next tree? Okay, so, he's got like 1, in here. Right? Kind of on an angle, but it's kind of like right at the base of the line here. And it doesn't go as high as the other one next to it. So it's lower than this one. So we'll get that tagged in there. Now this one is so faint, so faint. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm seeing a hole, but I think it's just the light coming through the gaps in the felt backing shining through. But it keeps catching my eye just so. Where I feel like it's like, what's happening? Sorry, I'm just twisting out this. There's not much of a highlight color on this guy, but I think we'll try to do just a little one. It's like the barest of whispers. So it doesn't really have a distinguishable highlight to him that I'm picking up, so alright. Getting that worked in. All of our little loose flyaways. All nice and secure. Sorry, I heard a noise and I thought the husband was back, but he's not sitting at his desk, so I think the cats are getting into trouble. It's been a very distracted day and I do apologize. But that's what we get here, is distractedness. It happens. Okay, now. Oh my goodness, it's almost 90. No wonder it's so hot in here. Oh, we got a few more storms trying to pop up. They're all kind of to our south and way northeast of here. Those are those colors. Okay. Alright, so next up is it's kind of in the middle, right? So he kind of put like 1, 2, 3 and then a fourth one, but the fourth one's like super tall compared to the others. So I mean, it's not tall, it's like barely taller than this. I think it's kind of the same height, but I think that's like our middle child here. Well, this one's kind of tilting in this way. He's down a little bit more than that one, though. Not by much. Not by much. Now, this guy doesn't have, well, it's like the barest of hints of a highlight, but he's mostly highlighted-less. Mostly shadowed, which, you know, is interesting. I'm gonna take him too tall. Probably decent height-wise, and then there's another guy that starts pretty much in the same spot. he is not as tall. He's like nowhere near as tall. And then there's this little guy who's just kind of like, hey, how's it going? Peeking up here. Although he just kind of vanished into the abyss there. And then there's another little guy. Not little, maybe medium guy. On his other side that's ever so slightly taller. But not really. Then the medium guy. They're all just kind of chilling here. All right. Now, like the bottom of the trees look a little more highlighted than the top. I mean, I don't know, should we highlight those? I feel like maybe we don't. Maybe we leave them be. I really want to look at this with I mean, it's so faint. I mean, whatever light there is, it's going to be coming from this side. Maybe we can kind of work a little something out here. Just to give it a little bit of definition. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's going to be just lost to the background for all of eternity. Alrighty, so let's kitty? What are you doing? Ugh. You know, for a cat, you're not very graceful. I hope that game just didn't unpause that Russell had up on his screen. I think it's remote, so it might be okay, because I think it auto-pauses for him. I think he has an option turned on where if something important actually happens, it waits for him to do something about it, maybe. He used to have a wireless keyboard that he could turn on and off. And then he got this mechanical keyboard last year for Christmas. Except this guy, you can't turn on and off. So he can't just turn the keyboard off when he walks away now. Constantly fighting with the cats. Because I usually have something playing on our TV in our room off of his computer when I go to bed, and half the time when I wake up to turn over or go to the bathroom, it's at like triple slowed down speed where it's like moving one frame like every 30 to 45 seconds, and I'm like, it looks like a stop motion production and being made, and I'm like, what? Cat, what did you do? And then I'm half asleep trying to figure out what the hell the cat did. So is that the same grove of trees? I think this grove of trees is the one that we just did, maybe? So I'm thinking this one here is this, and then this will be like this mess here. I mean, we can always add in like an extra tree back there if we want, tree trunk wise. I mean, that's entirely possible. Hang on, husband just messaged me. I cannot type with these things on, and it angers me when I'm trying to do a message fast. Sorry, he's being weird. He's having a rough day, so he went to go get something to eat, and I don't know if he actually did that. And Discord and his phone don't always communicate quickly with one another. So now I'm kind of left like, what the hell's going on? Alright. So our next tree, at least, you know, with a tree trunk, I think we're gonna put... Well, you know what? Let's go with what we've got down and maybe we put that in here, right? But it doesn't have to be exact. So let's see about putting this guy up in here. This little fruit fly is driving me bananas. I don't even know where it came from. Alright. So we got that guy kinda in there. He's hard to see, but he's there. Oh, I never put on the big light. No wonder we can't fucking see. Oh, that didn't help much, but I'll tell you, I'm always forgetting to do something. I think because the sun was kind of out earlier, I wasn't really thinking about the light. That was a little bit of a thicker bit of yarn, so I don't know how well we're going to be able to melt that one in. Kind of got it in there. Okay. Oh, I finally got my answer back. Okay. So, technically I think he only does one more tree. But I mean, we could just turn those into like shrubbery that you can't see. You can't see the branches on. So this one I'm gonna start down here. I'm really beginning to think we should have done this backwards, but I can't worry about it now. We're already too far in, Jim. Alright. So this one kinda has a little bit of a bow to it. Like bow as in curve, not bow as in a hair bow. And this trunk looks like it splits in two, or there's multiple appendages coming off of this, although this back one that we're doing right now looks to be the shorter one. There's one of the hairs that kept tapping me. So we'll take that one to there, right? And we'll snip snip. Oh, this husband of mine, I swear. Okay. He's having a really rough anxiety day. Had I known he wasn't going to go directly to where he said he was going to go, I would have stopped and gone with him. Okay, so now we can kind of see this one in here, kind of. And this guy has a bit of a friend stuck to the side of him. He's a little bit thicker than I necessarily want him to be. Alright, so you can be like up here. to kind of twist you around a little bit. To make you fit into place. This guy kind of dips out a bit. And there we go. We'll bring this guy down into here and join these two up. Just to give him a little bit of a more sturdy bottom here. Kind of looks like he's waving hello. Okay. Carefully trim that if you need to. So yeah, we'll just quick highlight this guy and then we'll call it a day. And then I can go call the husband and find out what the heck is going on. Alright, so on this one, it's kind of on this side of the tree here, right? So get that all worked in here. As best as we can. Alright, we do need to trim that just a little bit because that was a little much to try to tap in there. We don't want that being too crazy. Let's come back in here and try to clean up that edge a bit. Alright. And the inside of the other one doesn't have anything on it, so I feel like that's just supposed to be in full shadow. Probably sitting like back further. Alright. So there's our tree trunks, and we got our light color put into here. So tomorrow we'll move on to start putting in the foliage. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, you guys, and I will see everybody tomorrow afternoon. So until then, have a good one.